Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you are doing well, and today I'm going to be doing another episode of my old trading card games, and this one is once again Collided Worlds, but it's the third prototype. This is a prototype I made back in 2018, and it's a pretty interesting prototype, all things considered. It was actually the closest I got to actually releasing a game. And you'll see by some of the different things I've got to show you today. This one's going to be split into two parts. One's going to be a little overview of some of the different things I made for the game, as well as some of my plans for it. Well, the plans I originally had for it. I'll explain that in a little bit. And the second part is going to be where I go through all the cards in set one, because there's a lot of them, and then I will discuss that as I go along. So the first thing I want to take a look at is this rule book, which is actually pretty unfinished. As you can see, there's still some sections I haven't filled out yet, but there's definitely some things about this prototype that we'll be able to see from the rule book as we go along. The basic premise is similar to version 0.1. You and your opponent each have 20 life points, and your goal is to use different characters and action cards to take your opponent from 20 to 0 life points. There are a few minor differences with the cards, like one of the first you can see right away in this game requirements. You'll see that decks have a range of cards rather than a fixed amount. The lowest amount is 35, the highest is 50. And another thing you can see on this page is that the different cards have different colors. Usually a lot of games will have the different card colors correspond to different elements or things like that, but in this game it's sort of more like Yu-Gi-Oh, where the colors correspond to different types. So you have blue for your character cards, green is for your single action cards, which are your cards you put in the discard pile. They use their effect once and then you discard them. Red is for equip actions, which you can equip to your characters. Orange is for continuous actions, which is cards that remain on the field for a period of time. And then there's the reaction cards, which you can play when your opponent does something. And these are purple. Now, I also have these black bordered cards, though that actually gets into the rarity system for this game. Collided Worlds version 0.3 had 4 different rarities. You had your common cards, your uncommons, your rares, and then the final top rarity is epic, which I wanted to have these stand out since I didn't really know how to really make foil cards at the time, so I decided to put a black border around all the epic cards to kind of make them stand out from one another. And continuing through this rulebook, there are a couple of other unique things about this game as well. One of them is actually right in the back. There were different status effects you could have on your cards, like certain effects in the game could make characters dizzy, forcing them to only be able to attack half the time. You had Enrage, which could force characters to always attack if they were able. Some effects Paralyze, preventing them from attacking or blocking. There was Poison, which prevented characters from being able to regenerate health at the start of their owner's turn. And there's Silence, which prevents characters from using their abilities. I think only Poison and Paralysis are available in the first set. But that was kind of some of the things I was planning. I've only been able to make one set of cards. So like you can see, I was kind of thinking about different names for the first set. I ultimately settled on Groundbreakers as the name of the first set. And this set has 100 cards in it. And I was originally going to have a couple other sets as well. Like there was going to be a set 2, which is going to be called Mysteries of Solaris, which is going to be a little smaller than set 1. And also there was a set 1.5, which was Clash of Psychics, which was a dual deck, which is a set of 2 decks that were designed to go against each other. You can kind of see This was kind of a prototype box I made for it that's unfinished, but you can see you got the name of it there, the pack there. You got some other logos on the sides, and the back is also unfinished, but it kind of gives you like an idea of what was going to be in here. And then it has experience of clash of supernatural proportions, and it was going to go into more detail about what this deck was about. And it wasn't the only deck I had planned. I also had another structure deck planned that was a solo, which features the soldier archetype that's in this game. You can see on the back I've got like the list of all the cards that could be in here, and there was going to be a mini rulebook included, as well as a little blurb explaining what the deck was about. And also kind of a neat thing about these cards too, I actually went to like a print shop to get so what I did was I took all the cards I was drawn and had them on separate sheets, and then I took them to a copy shop to get them all copied, and I also did the same with the different booster pack arts that I made as well, and then that way I had multiple copies of cards that I could stick into packs, and I could give them to all my friends and whatnot. Unfortunately, I kind of ended up liking I did end up not liking a few things about this. While the frame has improved, there were some things I didn't like about it. It was still kind of awkward looking, and there was also I also kind of felt the rules were a little too complicated still, and I kind of wanted to make this game a game that was a bit more simple to play, that you could play pretty quickly. And I feel like I kind of strayed from that. Another thing I wanted to show, I guess I already showed this, but I wanted to show that I made 3 different pack arts for this game. You got the first one, which actually depicts one of the epic cards. There's Shadow Dragon here. The second one depicts Shirk Deo. If you've played the Make Your Own card games, you'll recognize it. It's actually one of the rarest, and it actually has similar art to how he appears in the Make Your Own card game as well. And then there's also a pack art containing Matt, who's actually one of the common cards in this set. And then you could see on the back, this pack was going to contain what kinds of cards were going to be in there, and you can see the date that I made this, which was back in 2018. So, the only really cards I've really made for this was the first full set, and that was the Groundbreakers set. I did make some of the Clash of Psychics cards, but those are only text only, and so I haven't really drawn any art for them. But I think next time I am going to be showing off all these cards from set 1, and then I will show you guys those next time. And until then, stay tuned to the channel. I will see you in the video I upload next, and take care.